Hi guys, this is Amy with A to Z Stamping.com, and today I just wanted to show you a quick video to show you what the Succulent Framelits dies are all about. So right here are the set of dies that you'd get, and there are 17 dies total in the set. They are meant to go with to work in your Big Shot. These dies go along with the Oh So Succulent stamp set. This stamp set and the dies are on our retired list, so they're only available while supplies last. And the dies do correspond, particularly the framelit dies, do correspond with some of the stamps in this stamp set, but you don't have to own the stamp set to want to own these dies, and I'm going to show you why in a second. First, I wanted to show you all of these framelits here, the ones that look like frames. So this one, these ones that are outlines of things. What these would do, thus the name framelits, is they would frame something. And let me show you what it looks like when they're just cut out. When they're just cut out, it's really not anything that spectacular. In fact, I'm not sure you would use any of these for anything. This one right here is a little bit more interesting because can you see there? It does give a little bit of dimension. There are some cuts in there. So this one you could use on its own. This one is actually meant, it doesn't have a framelit that goes with it. This one's actually meant to be like the leaves that are hanging down from the flowers if you were to make some of the bigger flowers. But I want to show you how it works with how these particular ones work with the stamp set. I've got those right here. So what you would do is with the stamp set, you would take the corresponding stamp and you would two-step stamp them. I'll explain that in a minute. And then then cut them out, and then what you get are these. And then I will show you close up. So once you use the stamp set along with the framelits, then it's really cool and it adds a lot more to what your projects and what you're trying to do. These first set here, I just cut out with some macaron extra cardstock that I had. Now these ones right here, I stamped with Old Olive ink. First I stamped off, so that means I inked it up, stamped it onto a scrap piece of paper, and then stamped the base. And then after that, with the top stamp, I then stamped it up and stamped right on the image. There, can you see? Then once it's cut out, that's a lot more interesting and fun. So it does work neat with this stamp set. I thought I'd show you these ones up above, how it actually works with the Big Shot. So let me pull my Big Shot out here. All right, so I've already stamped both of these. It's the same flower onto these two pieces of cardstock here. And let me show you which stamp I used. So first, I used this two-step stamping. So first is the kind of solid base. So again, I had it on my block, inked it up, stamped onto a scrap piece of paper, and then stamped the image. So that's kind of the lighter Old Olive color. Then with my second stamp, this would be the top stamp, I inked it up in the Old Olive and then stamped right on. It does take a second with some of the stamps to figure out which way they go to match them up, but it doesn't take too long to figure that out. With some of the newer framelits sets and thinlits, they're putting marks on them, which makes it even handier to do. All right, so I've got those two stamped, and now let's grab the thinlits that correspond with that. Okay, let me grab them. They're under here. All right, so that would be this stamp or this framelit right here. So we have to do one at a time because I only have one of these. So I'm going to line it up. Let's see, got to figure out which way it goes. Again, like I said, it takes a second usually to figure it out, but usually it doesn't take too long. But of course, now that I've got you watching, I'm sure it's going to take me forever. Let's see here. No, oh, there we go, got it. All right, so you line it up on there. Normally I would use my magnetic platform, but right now I just have the basic plate with the thin die adapter on there, and that's just what we're gonna go with. All right, so I grab that, put my lid on top, run it through. All right, I'm just gonna run it backwards to get it easier to pop it out. All right, so, oh, actually I could have done them both at once. All right, but see, it pops right out, and there we go. See, there's our flower, really pretty. I did stamp this onto white, Whisper White cardstock, I think sometimes it looks better if you stamp it onto the color. So if I would have done it on old olive cardstock, you wouldn't have seen any of these white edges, and it's much nicer. All right, let me show you now this die. So this was the one that looked more like this, that had some dimension to it. All right, so let me show you what happens when we do that. Again, I got to figure out how to line it up. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, see how quick that was? I get it right on there. Put my top plate. Again, my plates, they're a mess. They're all scratched up. They're supposed to look like that. That's okay. All right, and run it through. All right. And now when I pop this out, now sometimes with these ones, when you pop them out, they're kind of stuck in there. So what you want to do is you grab your die brush. It's just a little foam pad like this, and you just run it over and it pops right out. All right, so there we go. See that? So now this one not only is stamped, but can you see that? It's got that little bit of texture because it's got the little pieces that pop out. So that's kind of fun too. Okay, so that's how you can use the Succulent Framelits if you have the stamp set. But there's something really cool that I think some of you who do not have stamps would really be interested in. And that's these set right here, these large ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 flowers here. Now these don't correspond with any of the stamp sets. And let me show you what those look like. All cut out. Got those right here. All right, so there's the large one, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so on their own, they're fun, they're interesting. All right, see? Now, you can do probably a million different things with these. You could even just layer them on each other and make something cool, do them in different colors, and you would end up with something pretty. But I took them and I used, got my old olive ink pad right here. I'm gonna open that up. And you can tell I've been working on these today because you see the ink all over my hands. All right, and I'm gonna grab one of my sponge daubers. You can also just use any piece of sponge, but I like the little sponge dauber. I dip it in the ink, and I'm just gonna ink up the edges. You could do this in many different colors. I've seen this done with like purples and blues, and it's really pretty. I've seen it done with white paper, really pretty. Okay, so I would do that for all 6. It goes really quickly. All right, when I'm done with all 6, let me close up my ink. Then what I would do is I would take my bone folder and just kind of curl up the edges of my flower. You don't have to press super hard. You just kind of want to curl up the edges a little bit. And I would do that on all 6 of my flowers. When you get down to these little tiny ones, you want to be really gentle because you don't want to rip the flower, but it's pretty easy to do all 6 of them. Then once all 6 are done, you would take some multi-purpose glue. That's what I like to use for these flowers. This is our Tombow multi-purpose glue right here. And I just dab a little bit in the middle. And then assuming this one was already done, then you would do this. Make sure you line the petals so that they're not overlapping each other. You would do all 6, and what you end up with is this. Ooh, these are little succulents, which is why it is called the Succulents Framelits Dies. So this one I did exactly the same way. I just edged it in some old olive, and then in the very middle I put one of our little pearls. Pretty. These are not super big. Let's see. I think that they measure, let's look here, about 3 inches in width. So they're not super big. I've seen people make a bunch of these and actually set them in moss in terracotta flower pots, and they look like real flowers. It's really super cool. So for those people who cannot keep a flower alive, this might be a good idea. I don't know. I'm kind of one of those people. So anyway, this is a really fun set if you like to make flowers like this. And as I said, I've seen them in all different colors, and they're really stunning and beautiful. I've also seen some where you could use several of the big ones and really get it really full and then make it as big as you want. there's really lots of different possibilities. So anyway, I hope you now are a bit inspired by the Succulent Framelit dies. And if you're interested in ordering them, definitely check out my shopping page, a2zstamping.stampinup.net. And definitely remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can see all of my videos. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks, guys. Bye.